Chindarkar, the head of research and development team at iThrive, and today we have with us Ms. Sahara Sarang, who is a researcher at iThrive, and today we are going to discuss about the herb Ginkgo Biloba and its treatment in tinnitus. Hi Sahara.
Hi Manali.
Hi. So yesterday itself we went on a small trail and it was a good experience, like a good getaway with nature, and I am personally proud of myself because I resumed exercising this week. So with every step I could feel that reward, like because I had exercised, it was easier for me and it was like a warm up. It was a good experience.
Yeah.
How about you, Sahara?
Yeah, it was really great experience actually. It was quite long. Even I have also not been going out for trekking or trailing as such. But yeah, all of a sudden it was a sudden plan and it was really a great experience.
It was a short and sweet, not that exhausting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, okay, so coming back to the topic, so we are going to discuss about the herb. So what is Ginkgo Biloba? I think most of us are hearing it for the first time. So what is it?
So actually when I came, I got introduced to this term, even I was not aware of this.
Right.
So it's basically a herb. So it is originally from China. So it has been said that there is really, this is the last species which is remain. Everything else has gone to extinctions from this particular family. But yeah, this is one of the tree or a herb which is actually found in China. And this particular herb has actually come into picture because of research studies for its use or its efficacy in showing anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. So yeah, it has been used in several diseases, in studies, not diseases as such, but yeah, in some country it has also been recommended as supplement to treat several diseases related to neurological disorders and all that stuff.
Okay, so its use is, I think, new. It's not that much in the market, right? And what is tinnitus?
So yeah, even tinnitus is it's autoimmune disease. Basically, it is a condition in which you keep on hearing something, or there is some constant banging in your ear, even if there is no any external source to it.
Okay.
So basically, you will keep on hearing some banging or some noise continuously, even if everything is silent in your environment.
Okay, so it's just a false feeling of hearing something.
Yeah.
Okay, and you talked about autoimmune conditions. So could you please explain what autoimmune is?
So basically what actually happens in your body whenever you get exposed to any infection or there is some threat to your body, your body actually work on it to get rid of it, right? So that particular system is said to be an immune response or immune system which actually fights against infections or antigens to eliminate it from your body and to bring your body at a normal condition back again. So what actually happens in autoimmune condition is just because there are some antigens or there are some triggers which has a tendency to activate your immune system to really high amount.
Okay.
In that condition, what actually happens, just because your immune system of your body is getting continuous triggers of activating, it gets activated to such an extent that along with antigen or along with foreign material, it also actually starts attacking your own cells or your own body cells, which actually works for your well-being.
Right.
So in that condition, that from a name itself, it's autoimmune. That means your immune system is killing themselves,
attacking itself.
Yeah.
Yes. So there's some discrepancy, it cannot recognize its own cells and it cannot differentiate between its own cells and antigen or something coming from the outside. Right. And so did you find this Ginkgo Biloba to be effective in tinnitus?
Okay. So whenever you use any herb for any condition, whenever you have to study particular herb for any condition, let's say that, so the efficacy of particular herb or a medicine is always defined by its composition first of all. After that, from which what method or what treatment it has been extracted. Also, what is the bioavailability of that particular active compound which actually fights in your body to get your body in a good condition. So all these matter actually, all these conditions actually matter when we actually talk about the efficacy of particular herbs or drugs in your body. In certain conditions or in certain studies, it has been seen that the effect of Ginkgo biloba was not well studied with respect to dosage and composition. They have just used some of the extracted from random method and has seen the effect. That might be the reason why Ginkgo biloba has not shown effective result against this. But there are small amount of studies also. Just because this particular herb is found in China, most of the research happens in China over there. So in 2003, Chinese people have done randomized control trials where they have considered every aspects of this particular study. They have consider the composition, the dosage, the bioavailability and all that, and they have seen that to some extent Ginkgo biloba has shown some effect against tinnitus. And not only that, it has also shown effects against Alzheimer's diseases. Also it has been used as antioxidant molecules.
Okay, amazing. So it's a like wide variety of targets can be achieved through this. And like you said, it depends on the dosage, right? So in the some previous podcast also we had discussed this, that devil is in the detail. So not completely relying on the source, but how much and how was it extracted. And I think even the population and the age group or the condition and all the details matter to determine if it is effective or not. Right.
Apart from that, it is also been seen that, let's say if that particular study is getting conducted in China, the geographical condition over there is completely different from other part of the world. So you literally have to consider all that aspects, and then only that particular study might get relevant and you can come to a particular
you talked about
conclusion.
Geography, and then there's also genetics, right?
Exactly.
So genes also, like as we discussed in one of our last podcasts, that not only genes but the interaction of gene environment it again plays a role. Yes, amazing. So I remember you telling me that we should not discuss limitations per se. So could you like to tell that to our audience also? So we would like to change that segment a bit.
Okay, so I recently have just attended one talk. So in that they have addressed that whenever you write a research article, whether it is review article or original research paper, and at the end there is, in some studies you have seen that there are some limitations highlighted over there. And in some papers there are future aspects highlighted. So the man who was giving a talk, he has addressed that please try to not address anything, whatever your work is, whether it is literature review or review writing or you are doing actual work. Never represent that particular work in a negative way. Always try to show it as a positive way. For example, in case of limitations, in place of limitation, you can actually say that future aspects, or this is how we can improve. All these things or all these terminologies which actually make your unconscious mind to think positively might be used for further.
Makes sense though, like it's a good way to look forward instead of finding shortcomings in our own research. Okay, so talking about the future prospects, what were the things that you can do, you or anyone in the world can do in this research area?
So as I already mentioned that there are number of studies happening over on this particular topic, but not all studies are considered to be relevant because of some of the reasons that they are not considering all the composition, dosages, bioavailability and all that. So of course you have to consider all the factors related to the sample you are testing. Apart from that, you have to test for the population also, their age, their gender, their lifestyle and their genetics, their geographical conditions. This is the first thing I think people should consider while doing research. Apart from that, as we all know that herbs or plants, or whenever you say anything about phytotherapy, that means you are using plants for treatment, at that time it's really difficult to extract the particular active ingredient which is really effective for your body. So improving those extraction techniques so that you can actually study the importance of that particular active ingredient, so that other side effects which are actually taking place just because you are not able to extract that particular ingredient can be eliminated, right? So yeah, that is the only thing I would like to address.
Yes. So when you talked about this, so I think here is where standardization comes into picture.
Exactly.
So extraction, like making sure the extraction techniques were right, and also talking about the bioactive component as well as the other components. So sometimes, let's say if we talk about turmeric, so we know curcumin, but not always the extracted curcumin will give that effect, because there are other bio components which help that role of curcumin.
Right.
So also, like presence of those bioactive components and the ratio, so that needs to be maintained. And so the origin has to be of a standard source, and the standardization, like every supplement or every herb that you take should have that appropriate level of bioactive component.
True.
So when we are talking about this, I also remember, so while reading through like solutions for urinary tract infections and also listening to some podcasts, so this is a common thing that people do recommend having cranberry juice, right? So even we used to do that, and cranberry juice is believed to be effective against urinary tract infection. But then I heard this podcast where it was a urologist who suggested that if you want to have the cranberry juice, you can have it for the fun of it, but like again, it needs to have that right amount of proanthocyanidins, which is its bioactive component, to be in that appropriate range. Now I don't remember the exact dose, but we need to ensure that. So like we always say, devil is in the details, so we need to ensure that the source, that origin, the component of that active component as well as the other secondary components need to be at par to give that result.
Exactly.
Right? Yes. So anything else that you would like to add?
No, I guess India is the country from where actually Ayurveda has worked from since so long, and with the synthetic drugs and anti-inflammatory drugs, whatever has come into picture, of course they have shown the effect, but they have tremendous side effects to it. So if we have all the resources just in our country, originally located in our country, why can't we just work so relevantly so that we can come up with something which can be the boost across the world?
Yes. And I think most of the herbs lie in our gardens, in our kitchens already, and we don't know its use, like our grandmothers keep telling it. But I would like to raise a caution here that don't just read up in any, I think in any local language newspapers or magazines also you'll get remedies or 5 tips or something like that. But like before trying out anything, we need to ensure that the dosage and source is also like being like taken care of. So please do that before you yourself having any other home remedy or suggesting that to any of your loved ones. Okay, so yes, thank you Sahara for this wonderful session. I think it was of a different genre. So thank you.
Thank you so much Manali for the wonderful experience. Actually, even while writing a blog, it was really a great thing for me, because immunology is particularly a subject which is really close to me, and I really like immunology. So this was really which has get me back to my days of bachelor's, where I actually sit with my book and read each and everything related to immune cells and all that stuff. So yeah, thank you so much.
And I have observed this thing that whenever any person is passionate about some topic, even like I am not that fan of immunology, but when some person so passionate about the subject talks, so even we understand like what you're talking about and how it goes.
Yeah.
Right? And good that you brought it up. So Sahara has written this blog, and like all the podcasts that we have discussed until yet have been well researched and written, reviewed, edited before presenting to you. So if you'd like to read her blog and read all the previous blogs, we will link it to this video. So please go and read that, and we are open for discussion. So thank you all for attending, thank you all for listening to this podcast, and like, share, subscribe and follow our podcast. We would like to have more such discussions with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.